Hello from Bali. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about headhunting and let's start with the definition.
If I may, I would start from the joke which I was met at Indonesia. I have been to Ireland. The name it's Borneo or Sabah in ancient version. And when we were in the jungle, it was a small tour with a guide, and he was saying something. Okay, this is tribe of headhunters, and I was not attentive and asked him, headhunters? Because in my life, headhunter, this is a person who would hunt for especially head of Maxim Golub, because he is the only person whom I want to stay as a general manager or CEO in my company. So this is the only target. But it was so unusual to see in the rainforest. And the man was saying, yes, we are proud that we are not just in Africa, but also in our longitude. It was a tribe, and they were cutting the heads and they were saving them. And if you have a lot of scalps, you are a very respected person. And we were living in a long houses, and man would lay down close to the exits, and in the middle it would be child and women and so on. And I was thinking it was first time when I hear this term as headhunting in a very unusual way. But as I told before, sometime if you are shareholders of a huge company, you have a dream to invite a very specific person, and it could be you, Maxim. And I would ask some very, very talented guy, could you make it as smooth as it possible? I don't want to know everybody on the market that I am trying to hunt Maxim, but I won't hunt him down. And it could be like several steps. Maybe you will meet a new friend, and you will go to drink, to dance, to do something, maybe fishing, maybe golf. And then he will ask you, maybe you want to meet some shareholder, Oleg Bragинский. He is quite interesting guy. You have a lot of in common, and I would be instructed how to behave with you, because this person was spent like several weeks. And then we will talk, and you will find that I am almost a similar soul to you, and you will be очарован, fascinating.
Charmed.
You would be charmed, and maybe we will have an agreement. By the way, it was a very unusual book I read like 2 years ago. This is about very powerful and very wealthy Turkish man, how he hunted one of his top managers to lead his bank. And you know, it was really unusual to read this. I was doing this for several times, but I was not experiencing it on myself. But to read in the book how that person was approached by several times without any meanings, without any continuation, without any promises. And I was thinking, it's very unusual to hear the story from another side of the miracle.
Well, that's the mirror. It's correct. And I do believe, like, in order to move to this level, like whether you're the one who is just actually going for the hunt or the one who is just being the trophy, it also depends, like on the level, because in the normal life it could be like recruiter, HRs, and like you might be on the market where like all of the goods might be not that fresh, might be not that shiny. So what is needed for both sides in order to move to that level where like you have all of these interesting games with the interesting result?
Several times I was asked to collect information, so-called asint. We have even special course of lectures in School of Troubleshooters. I was asked to collect information about some Polish guys, Czech guys, English guys, Canadian ones, Americans. And I was collecting information. I was spending a lot of money and efforts. And then suddenly I found that no one was invited in our company. But I was so amused. We have spent so many efforts. Why do not make something? And suddenly I was approached by a shareholder, and he would tell me, "Oh, thank you. You was digging so deep that you find something negative." And I was so astonished. I do not remember something negative. Some of these guys is really good ones. For example, from IBM, from Dell, from McKinsey, and so on. And for me, all of them are like magicians. So they do everything they want with business. And suddenly my shareholder was saying, come on, thank you. You found something which was not allowed us to hire this person. When you have the name, this is even this stage to have the name. You have a target, you have someone to aim. Then you start to dig, and usually it takes like 2 to 3 weeks. And you know, for example, when we work in Switzerland, there is even a rule to ask doctor first, teacher, and the priest, and they would say everything. And you know, in this country it's quite usual, but for example, if we talk about America, if we talk in other countries, usually we try to find something what was missed in the curriculum vitae, because if those people at the high level, they never have resume, they have curriculum vitae. It's much higher leveled document in some more detail, and sometimes they hide something. And for example, in resume, it could be hide like you have spent several years in jail. So we always use Excel to calculate how many days or weeks was missed. But if you talk with those guys, sometimes they will say, okay, I was on sabbatical for 1.5 years. And then you will find that this person was working in the company and he was fired.
And when we look into the approaches of, let's actually call this hunt. So when it starts, I do believe it's not like a one-time hit. And exactly as you described, it could be like a multiple stages. But it's also probably, you know, like maybe the plan, or maybe the step, or maybe the pace, or maybe the speed that is used in order to approach to the target. And maybe sometimes it might be not be even, you know, you approaching to someone, you talk, you have several meetings, and it might be not really hooking. You also may want to make sure that they will follow you, etc., so that they would be waiting for you to offer to them. So what might be the stages? What might be the mechanics? What might be the approaches in this area?
There is an anecdote in Slavonic world, something like this. We want you to join our team. Okay, what is the salary you could offer? Oh, we have a magnificent salary. And what about your skill? Oh, you don't worry, I have magnificent skills. The same with headhunting. Sometimes you will be approached for several times and nothing will go in a continuation of those approaches. And sometimes it's even very sad. Several times I'll lose the chance to work with huge companies, and I don't know reason. Once it was like something, we have digging in internet and you have nothing against you, so we think that you are a capable person and you could everything clean up, so we couldn't trust you. And after this, I think, okay, maybe I should make several articles about my mistakes, errors, and my faults. Second, you would meet a lot of people. You know, I have several guys which I was hunting for clients, and sometime I know there's a brilliant guy and he is very resourceful, but suddenly he was talking with 5 person in the company, and one of those who was interviewing this person was rejecting him, something like, this is a close person, I couldn't feel, there is no chemistry about this, and suddenly I was rejected in this job. Yes, it was nothing about payment, but I don't know how those companies were losing so talented people. So I want to make everything to be measured and to be compared, but some people talking about chemistry, astrology, and something like this, and you know, it's very strange. But on those level of salaries and on those level of rewards, there is nothing rational, because you know, when you're working on the land, on the ground, you would earn something like 2,000 to 3,000 per month, and you do the most of the job. But when you are sitting somewhere in the tower from the elephant bone, you will get like, I don't know, 50,000 per month. No one know what you do, and if market would grow, you will be successful manager. But if a market will go down and you will stay at the same time in the company, you would be convicted,
Blamed.
You would be blamed.
And sometimes, like during this interaction, what might be the big no's when it comes to interacting with the target, or maybe vice versa? If you feel like you've been targeted, what kind of things you definitely should avoid?
Maxim, I will tell you, and I'm not sure that people who are listening us or watching us will understand. First, no big no if you talking something bad about customers. Never do this. Second, if you do something against your boss and you will say, okay, I was cheating my boss, I was maneuvering and I was building a maze, something like this. Third, this how you do your ethical убеждение, ethical
Prejudice.
prejudice. So you should always tell the truth in a way that people would accept it. And another one, you could not change your behavior or your mood. So if you sometimes you would be aggressive and you will say, come on, do not talk about this, it's a big no. So there are no forbidden themes to talk with the manager of high class.
And then my last question will be how knowing about headhunting would help to make this world a better place.
I think that maybe 99% and 99% after the coma never will meet headhunter in a life because those like rare animals are protected by the red book, and in each huge city not more than 5 or 10 of them. But sometimes people who are quite lower, they will say, okay, I'm the greatest headhunter in the country. Several weeks ago, I was on the meeting. It was organized by some Tatarian guy. It's okay to say Tatarian guy?
Yes.
Tatarian guy, and he was also saying, I'm headhunter #1 in the Russia. But I have heard about him when I was in corporate world, and when I ask someone, do you know this guy? Everyone say, I don't know. And in a very short period of time, he would make a meeting of billionaires, and he asked me, are you able to come? And I asked him, but I am not a billionaire. But he's saying, but no one knows. And my first thought would be, okay, if it be just meeting of the false billionaires, what is he doing? So headhunting, it's about how to be X-ray person who could look through the mindset, culture, ethics, and manners, and makes a right choice. If you make no mistakes, you will be rewarded in a very high amount of money. If you will make several errors or mistakes, you will be put in some blacklist and you will be never summoned again.
Well, as there is a saying, significant efforts leads to significant results. We review the skill of headhunting and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.